Hi, it's Mrs. Baxter, and today we are going to start talking about quadratics, or our favorite thing, also known as parabolas. We've been drawing lines for quite some time now, and we're switching to something new. If you'll remember our dude activity where we were drawing our shapes or path of the ball that we threw, this is now going to be an extension of that, in which we actually start applying math vocabulary and equations to the path of those the balls that we threw. All right, so in this first block right here, we are going to fill this out and say the graphs of quadratics, that's the fancy name, quadratic functions are called parabolas. And all parabolas are vaguely what we call U-shaped. So when you look at the examples of the parabolas below, you can see we can either do a downward facing U like this, or we can have an upward facing U, okay? You will never see us in this class go like this or like this, all right? It's always going to be up or down. All right, so when we're looking at parabolas, you're going to notice they will have a highest point, okay? So the high point right here is also called the maximum, or the lowest point, looking at this parabola, the vertex is at the minimum. And I gave you a hint, the point that is called the vertex. Okay, so you can come over to our graph here up in the right, and I want you to write vertex right here. Let's label this point right here, okay? Parabolas may open up. That's a positive direction. So this, for example, is opening up. This one is opening down and is going in the negative direction, okay? Now, I want you to also notice they will have a single, what is the word we're looking for? My brain can't remember. Hold on just a second. They will have a single, y-intercept. Yeah. If you remember what a y-intercept, it is where our line crosses the y-axis. So they will always have a single y-intercept. And y-intercepts or intersections are where the parabola crosses the y-axis. So if you go back up to the graph here, you can label this y-intercept. And the reason why is because if you look right here, here's our y-axis, here's our x-axis, this is our y-axis, our parabola is crossing right there, okay? So that's our y-intercept. All right, and then last but not least, I want you to think about the word symmetry. Now, symmetry is, a lot of you might think, okay, we had a circle or a piece of paper. If you fold that shape in half, what you have on one side of the shape is exactly the same as the other side of the shape. And so you have a line of symmetry where you have folded that paper. Well, let's apply that to our parabola. When we look at the shape here in the left, right here, I want you to think about, where would I draw an imaginary dotted line down or across this parabola that would be symmetrical, that would make the shape symmetrical? Well, if you thought we would take and maybe go straight down here like this, you would be correct. Go ahead and draw a little line like this. This is your axis of symmetry. You can also label it as AOS, okay? And down below, we have this nice little blank where we call it the axis of symmetry, or also known as AOS, is the center of the parabola at the vertex in which the graph is a mirror image of the other side. It is often the x of the vertex. So when we plot our vertex, so here's our vertex on this particular one. When I plot it, my vertex is at, I'm going to look at this here and I'm saying 2, 4 is at 415. So my vertex is at 415. Well, my axis of symmetry is the same as x is equal to 4. Okay? So that would be my axis of symmetry on this particular parabola. All right, so let's stop right there for now. I'm going to pause this video. If you have any questions about how to graph your vertex, how to plot your point, remember you're always going in the x direction first. X, Y, you're going to start at your origin. You're going to go over in the x direction first, then you're going to go down until you hit your point, okay? Always x direction first, then you move your y direction. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.